whatever the case, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Randy in the blue trunks, he is playing Zerg to the northwest of this particular map. Of course, Shakuras Plateau. He's playing for Team Infused. He is playing Zerg versus his opponent, the one and only Zain. He is in the green trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the southeast.
It's so cute when you watch players try to do the probe trick to get both probes mining on one, and then they just mess it up by like a split second, and the probe goes away. It's so funny to watch. I don't know, like everybody else, if they saw that, it would have been
You
funny.
are actually malicious.
I'm actually so critical with my analysis. I'm like, you messed that up, son. I like go after the game, I like go slap people. I've already spoke to Bling and stuff about mistakes that he makes in his own game.
Yeah, it's
theory crafting wars in the bar.
It's pretty amusing to watch, actually. It does come down to him simply arguing with Bling and claiming...
And Mers, too. Mers thinks he's like the god of war, but no. He's like, listening to the stream, he's like, I'm dead after this.
With Mers, good lord. Yes, Mers is present. He will actually be playing in the Insomnia 43 tournament tomorrow.
The Razor-sponsored tournament
yes,
tomorrow.
Indeed.
And Pylon up on the higher ground, interesting, and once again, another 12 gate. So, you know, this is really weird, because you should be building a pylon on the lower ground, because you should be forward fast expanding every single game on this map.
Yep.
And I'm interested to see how that goes. He's used, obviously, the second chrono boost now. So once again, we have the possibility of seeing that 4 gate. You shouldn't be opening up 12 gate if you're going to play standard. Like, if Sentry expand, there's no reason to do that.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, as you said. The reason is not because of the whole, ooh, I can get his zealots out quicker, la-di-da. No, that's actually not why you do it. You do it to get the Cybernetic score down early. You do it to get the faster warp gate research, which means, of course, if you want to play any kind of big 1-base play with 4 gate or even the ever-elusive 5 gate that we once saw White Ra do against Zerg, you can do it. And you do it quicker, and it's more difficult to defend. But yeah, it is a bit odd, and Randy's going to be thinking that, considering he did scout that immediately. He's aware of the timing. He's thinking there's no forge fast expansion here. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty weird. And immediately as a Zerg player, in kind of the Zerg player perspective, the question you should be asking yourself is, why haven't you fast expanded with a forge? Why would you not do that? It's so standard to do so. So immediately, Randy is going to be thinking, all right, what's up? What are you trying to do here? And so that already plays into the fact that this is a bad build on this map from Zain.
Well, there you go, folks. Heavily critical. No, you weren't kidding.
I wasn't. And the second gas goes down anyway. A chrono boost on the Nexus as well. Really, really interesting play here from Zain. Really pulling a few magic box tricks here, because I don't understand these quite well enough.
Yeah,
and I'm meant to be a good strategical thinker, and I don't
you're
understand.
supposed to be a coach. What are you doing? But whatever the case.
I know.
The funny thing about the word interesting, by the way, that I just came back from Gamescom. We were doing a lot of developer interviews. And my PR guy was saying, never use the word interesting about your game. And what the hell is he doing down there?
I know, one probe here, one probe here. There's a hidden probe now. So it's still, are we going to see like a proxy Stargate? Are you kidding me? I don't know. I'm really intrigued here.
You wouldn't build it there, though. I mean, that's just a silly position.
Yeah, but he's hiding it there, and then we'll bring it down to the lower ground in a second if the Zergling does go and scatter. It could also be like a hidden Twilight Cancel. But the pylon hasn't been started yet. Obviously, he's waiting for the drone to be killed out. Still building a lot of sentries as well. A pylon on the lower ground.
Nice little surround right there.
It's really, really confusing play here from Zain.
Yes, we are absolutely.
And the Nexus is, I don't know, man. I don't know. I give up. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, you're just gonna leave.
I'll let you take this one. I'll take my headset off and go get a beer. I don't know.
It is really, really odd, honestly, to try and think, well, you know, what is this here for? Why is it there?
The only reason I can think of is just like a mid-game push. You know, so he can get the pylon out there nice and early, can start warping in nice and early. If Randy does decide to go for a fast third, he can warp in Zealots nice and early down there. But to be honest, I really don't know. Like, we're still seeing like a 1-gate expand here. Maybe he just forgot.
I mean, he could have just left the probe down there and just left it alone, forever alone, down in the corner to languish until the end of its days. That's also a possibility. Maybe he's punishing it.
Okay, so there's the second gateway, and we're going to see the third gateway go down now as well. It could be some funky mid-game DT rush, but still, it's really, really funky. And like, we have an idle probe in the mineral line at the back, which isn't doing anything either. So it's like, I don't know.
It's just chilling, man. Just give it a break. There it is. See, yeah. It's not bothering anyone. It's minding its own business.
And we do have a macro hatch here from Randy. Very, very good on this map. And it's really good to play against these mid-game execution pushes, because you literally have that extra third of a production. And if you do go for an early third base, that means you have 4 hatcheries to be able to produce from. And now, weirdly enough, we're going to go into the hallucination. which also doesn't make too much sense for me as well. But now we're at that 3-gate expand. Eventually we got there. And this is whatever happens in every single game you play as a Protoss player, you'll eventually land back on these 3 gates and a Nexus. If you go fast Nexus, Forge expand, you'll eventually land back on these 3 gateways, just like if we went 3-gate expand. And now the deviation can happen, which is now we're going to see the robotics facility coming in. So if he's going to go down the robotics facility tech path, then he needs to be getting the gases very, very fast. And I wouldn't be surprised if he just went down for maybe a very fast Colossus push here, but at the same time, it's still very, very eluded from him.
Probe's moving, there's a pylon.
I don't know.
We don't know what it's for, but there's a pylon there. It's been waiting. That's been its sole job. It's been looking forward to this for the past 6 minutes of the game. It's been wanting to build it. It's been begging to be able to build it, and finally it's allowed to do that. The thing is that Randy's actually seen that coming, and I think perhaps it's there to apply pressure to the third that he knows is coming in. And that's all I can think of there, and the Overlord is not taken out.
And the saturation in the main base is very, very low here as well. We're looking at only 12 probes on saturation, which is really low here, and he's waypointed the main to the natural to build up the natural. You know, a little bit of a mistake there once again. The robotics bay does come down though, so we are going to be seeing some Colossus push. Like I said, he needs to take the gases nice and early if he wants to go for this Colossus push. And he's going to basically launch it towards that third base. And the timing of it, I don't think he's going to go with any upgrades. He's just going to go with like 2, maybe 3 Colossus. I think 2 would be better just because it's so delayed. The robotics facility could have been up a long time ago. Equally, the robotics bay as well. And then we're going to have this huge attack towards that base. The problem is, for Randy, is that he's not exploiting the style that, you know, is happening to him right now. You should be getting to 70 drones almost immediately, and then building nothing but units over and over and over again. And currently, he's at 52, pushing up to 60 now. He's just scouting around, and we do have the Colossus coming out now. The extra gateways are going to go down, so it's going to be like a 2-3 Colossus push.
And of course, that's going to end up being fairly effective, considering he's up against nothing but Zerglings at the moment. He's getting some upgrades out for them, but at this point, there's nothing to really threaten that kind of push. And as I say, the placement of that pylon is incredibly curious long game strategy from Zain, wanting to warp something in there, but we'd have thought maybe Dark Templar, but there's of course no sign of that. So what do you put in?
Well, have you seen the style? I mean, I've been focusing so much on Zain, I haven't really looked at Randy properly. He's actually gone for this, well, I'm actually surprised he hasn't gone for an Overseer. I was going to say gone for it. He hasn't gone for an Overseer, and therefore, looking at his vision, is that he doesn't actually have any information on what is happening. Is this 6-7 gate blink? Is it Colossus? Therefore, he's literally gonna have Zerglings and Infestors against this Colossus push, which is the worst thing he could have right now. And out comes the first Colossus now. I think he's going a little bit too soon, because now he's revealed the Colossus tech.
Yep.
Now, Randy can start to adapt before Thermal Lance has been completed, before the second Colossus comes out, and so on and so on. We have aggressive pylons at the north-hand side of this map as well. But he will be looking to launch this attack very, very shortly here.
Yeah, it's curious placement of that. Whatever the case, Randy actually does not have any access to Corruptors. He hasn't built a Spire, he doesn't have Neo or Parasite, so dealing with the Colossus could be a little bit difficult. That said, Zain doesn't have a lot of them yet. One should never believe that Colossus can only be countered by Corruptors or Neo or Parasite. They can be countered by being shot at a lot. That works too.
And also the Zealot count is very low as well. It's only at 5. That should be a lot higher than that as well if he wants to fight against all these Zerglings, especially the Bailings as well. Bailing speed is about to finish as well, and if they go rolling, it could be trouble.
Yes, we've got some Zealots actually moving in. Finally, that was the purpose of that pylon, evidently, to move in there and do a little bit of damage. Admittedly, it doesn't do too much. Just chilling, he's biding his time. Revenge is the dish best served cold. As you can very clearly tell right there, he's going to skewer a few Zerglings, finally die. But that harassment, not exactly what I'd call effective. He does gain some information about what his opponent's got. And those Banelings now moving into the side. The question is, where's he going to attack from? He can go pretty much any direction he so pleases.
Fields.
Yeah, needs force fields right now to be able to block off most of the Banelings. But there's a leak in there, and some damage is taken. Needless to say, however, the Colossus now move up. And what do you shoot a Colossus with? A Queen. That's all he actually has to shoot those Colossus on the high ground with.
But still, Randy did a lot of damage to the meat in front of the Colossus, which means the Colossus is very vulnerable to anything. Even Zerglings can get surrounds on them now. There's no force fields. There's also a Spore Crawler which can do damage to Colossus. and the reinforcements are off 5 gateways, so he's not really warping in that many units in incoming Zerglings.
Yeah, that was a really risky maneuver right now. Zain looking to outflank it. Nice little maneuver. He's exploiting the cliffs. He needs to do that again. However, Randy looking to try and surround him once again. Can he get the Colossus out? He almost does. In the meantime, reinforcements take out the Queen. Looks like they might get a few free Overlords over there as well.
And this second Colossus is being killed by Zerglings alone right now, and a Queen takes the kill.
Oh, that's
a kill steal from a Queen.
How dare you? That really is kind of embarrassing, and Zain has been put down quite nicely in the meantime. However, there's another warp coming in. He's going to continue to apply pressure to this base, but he's thrown away so much. Look at the resources lost. Look at the difference between it. Almost 2,000 resources more thrown away by Zain, and you know what? He's on 2 bases. He cannot afford that.
Yeah, that was very poorly executed, to be honest, from Zain there. You just didn't hit anything. The force fields were bad. They leaked everywhere for Banelings to come in. If he had good force fields and kept all the Sentry Stalkers and Colossus behind, no leaks, he would have been a lot better off. Obviously, he needed a lot more Zealots in there as well, so when the Banelings do die to these Colossus Stalkers, he can just roll over with Zealots. But now he's in awful position. I mean, we have an Ultralisk Cavern almost finishing now as well. The upgrades are pretty good. More Banelings and Lings are being reinforced. And like I said, the state of the game right now is that literally we're so low with gateway counts, so low with production.
That's a mountain of Banelings right there by Randy. The thing is, Zain is well aware of it. He sees it, and he's got an observer just sitting on top of it. He knows exactly what's coming. We're looking for Ventral Sacks right now, but it's not in just yet. Zain could go in and actually do damage here, but once again, pretty low Zealot count. He does have some sentries, but only 4 of them, and none of them on full energy either. It's going to be quite limited.
Randy needs to take his gases on this 3rd base as well. You can already see the next round of units. I mean, obviously going very, very Baneling heavy, very Ultralisk heavy, it's going to kill your gas immediately.
Yeah.
So he needs to get some extra gas in here as well. Meanwhile, we are going to fall back onto a 3rd base now for Zain, getting out a lot of units once again. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did go down for Twilight Council. Okay, there it goes. So we can get Blink into the mix, basically, to start fighting against Ultralisk, to spread your Blink Stalkers out better, to fight against dropped Banelings and so on. But still, he's looking in a horrible position in terms of economy, in terms of units.
Yeah, it's not looking so great for Zain. 74 to 59 right here in terms of army supply, and no big supply sinking units like roaches in the mix for Randy either. So that's all pure units, and that is dangerous, certainly. Zain is able to push out, but he still has not, he's now finally actually secured a 3rd. And in the meantime, Randy has taken a 5th to the top right there. And yes, that can be harassed by Zain, assuming that Zain knows it's there.
I don't think he does, actually. He doesn't know about the south base either. And I love the way that Randy is so active with creep spread. Really excellent play, because it's so annoying as a Zerg player when you creep, tumors get killed off, and you can't put them down anymore, and you're like, I don't want to waste my queen because I want to lava inject. No, he has a dedicated queen here to creep spread, and he keeps it alive, so he's able to spread creep over and over and over and over.
Yeah, that's a lot of Banelings as well. He's got the ability to drop it now. He's about to finish Neural Parasite. So if he gets some Infestors out, those Colossus are going to end up being taken over. So Zain really fighting from a very defensive position, very far behind. The supply count between the two is a massive difference, 185 to 128 in favor now of Randy. And upgrades, where are they?
Just starting now.
Yeah,
just starting now. So we're at 18 minutes in the game. We're at 0-0-0 upgrades for Protoss versus 2-2 for the Zerglings. And we also have 2-2 for Ultralisk, about to finish up their armor upgrade as well. That gives them an extra +2, which is going to push the Ultralisk to +4 armor so much.
Yeah, it's pretty silly, honestly, and he's going to be able to do so very, very well with those. He's also building a Greater Spire, because why not build a Greater Spire if you're in such a great position? Let's just have all the things. And Randy is now going to perhaps menace his opponent. We'll see. Can he see what's there? No, he doesn't quite have the vision. He's going to surround it and instantly annihilate that Zealot. That's too much of a problem. Zain reinforces with additional units. Now, I'm not seeing a big Overlord move out for Randy, so it doesn't look like he's going to actually use any drop play for the time being. But there are 104 Zerglings on the field, which is, by my count, quite a lot.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of flank attacks when this army finally of Zain's decides to push out. But look at Randy's resources right now. You know, he's investing a lot of his money, just banking it up, saving up, got his trust fund ready for when this army does eventually die, because it will die against a Protoss army eventually. But the thing is, he's going to have the same army over and over and over again, and that war will just end Zain. We're at 160, just +0 upgrades. He's going to sit on this 3rd base, look for a 4th base very, very shortly, as the pocket 4th base here after you've taken this lower third base. It's very, very accessible. You know, you just kill the Roxas now, go down, build a Nexus there, build a pylon and cannons to block the other rocks. And he will be able to sit on these bases as well. The problem for Zain, though, is because he's been on a low kind of base count for a long time in this game, his main is mined out. His natural is not looking so healthy either, which means he actually has to get a 4th and a 5th very, very shortly.
Here comes a very small baneling drop, perhaps looking to see if his opponent's there, and in fact, finding that he doesn't appear to be. He's only going to start to take this area, and he blocks it off with a bit of creep spread. And now, Randy's bringing friends to the party, and Zain does see those Ultralisks working their way through, and he's going to have to hold up against a rather large, dangerous force. Admittedly, he does have Blink, so he could do that, but they're taking almost no damage simply because of the amount of armor they've got.
It's like playing that custom map with Blink Stalkers against the Ultralisk there, but unfortunately, that's not going to work out too well in this scenario because you don't have an apple to bait it with.
Yep, Nidus Worm coming up from Randy, because hey, why not? That is actually, I think, the only building he currently does not possess. Actually, he doesn't have a Roach Warren, so I think if he wants to go for the complete collection, he needs to build one of those. Whatever the case, Randy is now moving around, trying to get a good baneling drop. It's not going to happen there, but it could certainly happen on this mineral line. And he's lurking. He is waiting. He knows he has a massive advantage. He's got 5k in the bank, minerals-wise. He's got Broodlords on the way, because, well, why not? And I want to see what he's going to do with this Nidus Worm.
Yeah, I mean, this tech switch here by Zain may bring him back into the game. I mean, he's going for Void Rays now, which can help out a lot, of course, here. But in comes this Overlord right now, TotalBiscuit. It's going to launch directly into the third base. There are a lot of probes here.
Yep, and he's not guarded. He doesn't have any photon cannons on the ground, which is,
of
course,
nice,
a little bit
nice
of
directions.
Yep, he gets it, that's nice. And he will try and divert there. The blink is not up yet. He could do something with it. If he drops it now, maybe, but no, down it goes. That's something that Randy probably should have considered. Whatever the case, he now has some free supply to build another Broodlord, because, hey, why not? Still 104 Zerglings on the field. I'd like to see more Banelings coming from that, but whatever the case, Randy's now going to start putting a bit of pressure to this wall down to the south.
Yeah, and these Void Rays, even though the Void Ray switch is really good, he just literally doesn't have enough. I mean, he has one Void Ray, so it's not really that much of a switch now, but he is going to push out now. Look at the resources of Randy, though. So much money backed up.
This is silly. You'd be shouting at someone at this stage if they had this much, but it's because he can't spend them on anything. There lies the problem. He's about to be able to, because he's now got into a very, very narrow corridor, and Zain is easily able to clean that up. And now a massive number of Banelings smashing through this Stalker group. Can they get into the middle and do big damage? Probably not. And in the meantime, the Colossus putting their way through. 13 Ultralisks now being constructed by Randy, who is now literally just throwing money at the problem and hoping it goes away.
Well, that's one way to beat it. Money solves everything, apparently. And in this game, I think it's going to be that despite him smashing through that one army, the 13 Ultralisks and 52 Zerglings
you see the Mana Nidus Worm right there in the middle of nowhere doing absolutely nothing. Whatever the case, Zain now making an attack and is actually able to do damage. There's got his Zerglings to the corner there. That's a bit of a problem. Those Ultras are not out yet, and the Mana Nidus Worm will be destroyed. Looks for the surrounding, nails that one Colossus. The counter to Colossus, as you can see right here, is Zerglings.
And Queens.
Yes, of course, why not? But the thing is, Zain is actually gutting this base right here, and he's going to get ready access to the fort. I think Randy's been showboating a little bit too much, but Zain is now gutting it.
Zain.
Do you hear the rumbling?
I do on stage. I'm falling off the stage.
Ultralisks coming in.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of stomping action. And now Randy making his way through there, and GG regardless. I actually can't explain that game. That's just weird.
I actually felt like I was falling off the stage then. I'm not sure if this is stable here.
It's like, are the Ultralisks coming? Yes, I can feel the rumbling right now. Either that or we're getting a bit of an earthquake.
I don't have multiplayer insurance. I'm in trouble. Like,
oh
we fall off the stage.
So I'm not really sure what Randy's plan there was, aside from build everything in the game, because our